Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you're watching me from. My name is Dr. Bioramba Iboweze, reaching you from Nkolo Mahadum, Wisdom University. Today's date is Nkwo Market Day in the 10th month of the Igbo lunar calendar called Onwa Okike. And in the Roman Catholic calendar, today's date is 11/21/2024. Remember, Nkolo Mahadum Wisdom University is an university where we encourage you to use your naturally given common sense, which we call akonuche, to always evaluate all the issues you are getting every day before you make a decision. It is also an university where we package lectures and present it to you from the ego eye of a Biafran and African perspectives. That is, we see things here, we present the lectures from how you will be seeing them from African and Biafran perspectives. And therefore, we encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our program, comment, like, and then share to everybody. Because everything we are presenting in this university is for the benefit of all of us. And the title of today's lecture is Why Terrorism Cannot Be Defeated in Northern Nigeria. The title of today's lecture is Why Terrorism Cannot Be Defeated in Northern Nigeria. Because defeating terrorists in Northern Nigeria is like saying you will defeat Hamas in Palestine, or you will defeat the Taliban in Afghanistan, or you will defeat the Kurdish rebels in Kurdistan, or ISIS in Iraq, because all of them are working to achieve the same objective. And if you look at the picture, you can see that Sharia law is endemic in 12 states of the north. Sharia law, the introduction of Sharia law during Obasanjo administration in Nigeria to 12 northern states made those northern states like having Islamic government. When you have Sharia law, it's like you already have Islamic government in place because you are following Islamic law. Sharia law equals to Islamic law. And the states that are practicing Sharia law in Nigeria include Sokoto, JIGAWA, Niger, ZAMFARA, YOBE, KADUNA, KATSINA, BORNO, BAUCHI, KANO, KEBBI, and GOMBE states. So if you look at the map of northern Nigeria, you see that all those states in the north, all of them are practicing Sharia law. And what does Sharia law means? They are all practicing Islamic government. Sharia law equals Islamic government. And so that is why terrorism is endemic in northern Nigeria and why defeating them is very difficult. And also, remember, the Sharia law also attracts all the terrorist groups in that area. Terrorist groups like Boko Haram, ISWAP, Ansaru, Mieti Allah, and the new one they call Lakurawa, Fulani herdsmen, bandits, and so on and so forth. Almost 8 terrorist groups are operating in northern Nigeria. Because the Sharia law, they're all geared towards the Sharia law is their foundation. The foundation of whatever they are doing is the Sharia law. And that is why they cannot be defeated in northern Nigeria. Also, other reasons why they cannot be defeated in northern Nigeria include that they all have the same goal. They are fighting to make sure that the whole North have an Islamic government openly without hiding it now under Sharia law. Because right now, the Islamic government they are practicing is hidden under Sharia law. And you know that in most of those states in the North, they have Hisbah police. They have even Sharia police, Sharia courts, Sharia judges and lawyers. So they are already practicing Islamic government. And those Islamic government, Islamic environment is what is attracting all these bandits in that area. Because they want to make sure that the Islam they are practicing there is the correct one. Another reason why terrorism cannot be defeated in the North is that the people that follows or practice Islamic religion are in support. Everybody that is practicing Islamic religion in the North are in support of the having more strict practice of Islam in that environment. So the people like it. Also, there are people in government are also in support. That's why you hear bills like Ruga. That's why you hear the water bill with the waterway bill. And then lastly, on the 24th of October, a House bill was rejected that was trying to broaden to make Sharia law applicable to every part of Nigeria. So their goal is to Islamize the whole country. That's what they are fighting for. They want to dip the Quran into the Atlantic Ocean. Also, the Nigerian military is very weak to flush them out. They are very weak. Sometimes these terrorists have more sophisticated weapons than the Nigerian military. And so that is another reason why they cannot be easily defeated. Don't forget, the terrorist groups, they are in control of so many areas in Nigeria. In the North, for example, in BORNO State, they control more than 15 local governments. Do you know what 15 local government means? They are in control of more than 15 local governments. In Niger State, they control more than 10 local governments and other local governments in so many areas in that North. And in those lands, they indulge in mining, they collect taxes, and they kidnap people. So they are making money. They are making money. And also, you know that kidnapping is now all over the country. It's not only in the North. The kidnapping is all over, both in the Southwest, in the Middle Belt, in the Southeast, in the South, everywhere, in the Biafra land, all over. And so these terrorist groups have come to stay in the North. They have come to stay. So the question is, you that is a Southerner, why are you not seeing all these things? Don't you know that even Kaduna State, is the Southern Kaduna, are even have the same culture as the Biafran people? The Southern Kaduna people, some of them go to Western religion and practice our local religion as well. But they are among those now in Kaduna State that is practicing Sharia law. And you see them coming down to the middle belt. They are now in Benue. You see all the clean in Benue. They already finished Plateau. And they gradually coming down to the Biafra land, coming down to Ebonyi State, Enugu State, all the way down. Before you know it, they have taken over the whole of Biafra land. And so, Nkolamadu is presenting this lecture to awaken you to the danger, for you to know that the terrorism you see in northern Nigeria cannot be defeated, and they are now coming downwards to our land. And the only thing that will protect us, that will protect our generations in future, is referendum. When we have referendum, then every section of the country will decide whether they want to belong to this geographical entity called Nigeria or not. So that they can, if they say they don't want to belong, then they can have their own established boundary for a store to stop the marauding Fulani terrorists coming down to the south and Biafra land. And before we continue, I have to ask you again to please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our program, our lectures, comment, and most importantly, share. Share it to get to everybody, because this lecture is good for everybody. We have maintained in this Nkolama Hadum that we should be keeping things short. And in order to keep it short, the takeaway from today's lecture is for you to know that terrorism in northern Nigeria cannot be defeated. Defeating them is like saying you can defeat the Hamas in Palestine, or Taliban in Afghanistan, or the Kurdish rebels in Kurdistan, or ISIS in Iraq. You cannot defeat them. And you know, you have so many of them there now. You have Boko Haram, you have the one they call ISWAP, you have Ansaru, you have Miyetti Allah, you have the new one, Lakurawa, Fulani herdsmen, bandits, and the rest. They are fighting for the same goal, to Islamize Nigeria. The people in that area love it. They love it because they want a religion. They claim that the Islamic religion they have will bring you closer to your unseen God. And people believe it. And there are people in government also supports what they're fighting for, which is Islamization. That's why you hear about Ruga, you hear about the Waterway Bill, and lastly, the law that was rejected in the House of Representatives this past October 24th, which wants to broaden the practice of Sharia across the whole Nigeria. Another problem why they cannot be defeated is that Nigerian military is weak. They are very, very weak. If they are not weak, are you telling us they do not know the location of all these terrorist groups? So they are weak. If not, they will have flushed them out long time ago. And don't forget, the terrorist groups are in control of so many areas of land. In BORNO, they control more than 15 local government areas. In Niger, more than 10 local government areas. In ZAMFARA, and so many other areas. Sharia law is now practiced in 10, 12 northern states. Sokoto, Jigawa, Niger, ZAMFARA, YOBE, KADUNA, KATSINA, BORNO, BAUCHI, KANO, KEBBI, and GOMBE. All the 12 states in the north are practicing Sharia law, which means Sharia government. They have Hisba police, they have the courts, they have the lawyers, they have the judges, and the terrorist groups you see are their foot soldiers. They are the foot soldiers to make sure that the government you have in those northern states are Islamic governments, clearly pronounced Islamic governments. And they also want to Islamize the whole Nigeria. That is the takeaway from today's lecture. And now the question is, you as a Southerner, are you not seeing all this? What are you waiting for? Your only savior is referendum. It's only referendum that will bring permanent solution to this incessant terrorism coming down from the north to the south. Support referendum, whatever you are doing, whether you live abroad, when we say abroad at the column heading, we mean whether you are living in Lagos, Kaduna, Abuja, any West African countries, any African country, any European country, America, Canada, wherever you are living, outside Biafra land, you are abroad, and therefore support referendum. If not, our land will be Islamized, because the terrorism going on in the north cannot be defeated. It cannot be defeated. That's what we want you to know in today's lecture. And with this, we shall be bringing today's lecture to an end. Thank you very much for joining us today, and have a great day. Thank you very much.